Amanda here, and it's time for my January favorites. In my monthly favorites videos, I will tell you about everything that I enjoyed using, what I used the most, my favorite combos, and I'll also add in a lot of things like revisiting old favorites, favorite books, favorite pieces of clothing or jewelry or fragrance or things like that that I don't typically review during the bulk of the month. However, I am starting a new series this year. I want to start ranking everything new that I reviewed in a month. So I have already posted that video previously. I hope that these two videos, the monthly ranking and the monthly favorites, will work hand in hand to sum up my month of product usage. Hopefully that made sense. Anyway, there will be some overlap in products between the ranking, obviously, and my favorites because I will hopefully have enjoyed some new products that I reviewed during the month. I do have some really good combos that I want to share, particularly with some of the new products. I found that they work really well with some things that were already existing in my collection. However, before we get to that, I want to tell you my favorite book of the month. I crushed my reading goals this month. I finished 8 books in January, and I actually started a 9th one, but I'm only like a third of the way through it. Definitely the most interesting book that I finished in January is this one. It's called The Art Thief, A True Story of Love, Crime, and a Dangerous Obsession. It's by Michael Finkel, and it's about the most prolific art thief probably in history. It's a really interesting story because he's not selling the things that he steals. And so it was a really interesting look at the person behind the crimes. I was very enthralled by the story. I've never heard of this person before. The story largely takes place in the 90s and early 2000s. So it is not that long ago. It's such a crazy story. I don't want to tell you too much about it because I do think that you should read it. It's not a super long book, and it is nonfiction, but the way that it's written, it almost feels like a fictional story. Every once in a while, I kind of had to remind myself that this actually happened. This is real. I also really enjoyed reading a true crime story that was not violent. Obviously, stealing isn't good, but it was nice to read this caper, thrill of the chase, true crime story where people weren't getting kidnapped and all kinds of other terrible things. So if that sounds interesting to you, I highly recommend The Art Thief. I was hooked. I finished it in like a day and a half. It was so good. My next favorite for the month is my most worn fragrance, and that is this one from 5 Cents. This one's called Life of the Party. I have a couple of fragrances from this brand, 5 Cents, but this one has really drawn me in. It's interesting and complex without being too overwhelming. Sometimes when people describe fragrances as complex, it has way too much stuff going on for me, but this is more just layered in a sophisticated way. I think it's kind of confusing because on the Sephora site, this is described as a fruity floral. If you just take a sniff of the bottle, I think that's what it smells like at first, but when I wear this, a lot more of the herbaceous and woody fragrances come out on me. So the notes in this one are peach blossom, saffron, and ambrox. It also has a black currant and jasmine scent. I think when I first sniff this, it smells the most like jasmine to me, but as I wear it, I get more of that saffron and ambrox scent. I actually got to go on a date night in January, which is pretty rare for me. Parents, you know, especially if you can't find a great sitter, I got to go out twice with my husband this month without our kid, and I was wearing this. That's elegant in like the rich old lady way, which don't get me wrong, I like to smell like a rich old lady too, but this just has a nice balance between the fun and flirty and more complex fragrance. I apologize if none of that made a bit of sense because I feel like I'm not really that good at describing fragrances. I just know what I like and I know what I don't like. But fragrance influencers, I hand it to you because I don't know how you do it. Now let's talk about some makeup favorites. I have a few complexion products here that just really took over my life in January. A couple of them I've already spoken about quite a bit, so I'm going to try keep it short and sweet. Everybody probably saw this coming, especially if you watched my wear test, because I showed this in my e.l.f. haul video, and then after that I did a wear test with it, and it lasted so beautifully on me. And I have worn this pretty much every single day that I wore makeup in January. Maybe not every single day, but the vast majority of makeup wearing days this past month, I've been wearing this. It just looks good on me. It just looks skin-like. The shade match is great. The wear time is great. It lasts all day. I said I wasn't going to talk too much about it. Anyway, go watch the wear test. This stuff is amazing. I know that I have previously mentioned this Singe Beauty Brush. I did do a dedicated video on the face brushes. This is the FO2, by the way. And I also spoke about this in my best of the year video that I just posted at the end of December. But I feel like I need to mention it again. I did buy a second one of these so that I always have one clean. This brush blends my concealer so perfectly, so beautifully. The shape, the size, the density, everything about this brush is a must-have for me. Probably one of the single best face brushes that I have ever used, and I've used a lot of brushes. And this has to be one of the best. Anytime I'm wearing concealer, I have used this brush. I love it. I love it so much. This is a perfect concealer brush. Good job, Ange. My last complexion product that I want to talk about is a new shade of an old fave. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. I love this powder. I have talked about it for many, many years. For the longest time, I used this one in the shade medium. I don't know if you can tell, this is very, very used and loved. Now, these powders run very light. So I always used the shade medium because light was way too light for me. They added some new shades. So I got the shade Light Plus, which is in between light and medium. This is a perfect match for me. Of course, I already cracked the mirror because I was traveling with it, but I am so happy that I have an even better shade match. Medium, I think, will still probably be my go-to in the summertime when I have a little bit more of a tan. But I'm so happy that I have this Light Plus option. It's not really a new favorite. It's just, I wanted to mention it, especially I know a lot of people who watch me do so because we have a similar skin tone. We wear the same foundation or whatever it may be. So just a heads up, there's a new shade and it's an even better match. And I'm so happy because this is a dry skin staple for me. I don't always wear powder, especially not all over my face, but sometimes I need to. And this is the perfect solution because it's not shimmery, but it has a little bit of a glow to it. It's just the perfect silky light texture. I love it. I love it so much. And now I have Light Plus. Yay. Let's talk about some of my go-to combos for this month. I have a favorite cheek combo that combines a new product, this e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush. I showed this in a big e.l.f. haul a couple weeks ago, and I'm a liquid blush type of person anyway, so I kind of knew that I was going to enjoy these, especially this Dusty Rosé shade. It's just the perfect neutrally pink on me, and it pairs so perfectly with the ColourPop light sticks in Glazey. That's what I'm wearing for my highlighter, and I don't have to put anything on top of these. I'll show you my application. I literally just put 2 dots of this blush. It's very pigmented, so you could build up more if you wanted to. I wasn't going for a very intense blush look today. This is a very low-key, everyday, neutral-ish type of look for me. So I just do 2 dots of the blush, blend that out with a little duo fiber brush, and then I go back with the light sticks and just put a little swipe on the top of my cheekbone, tap it out with my fingertips, and that's it. It's so quick and easy, and it looks natural, but it also has a little bit of a flawless, this could be my skin, except it's not because it's beautiful makeup. Gives me a slightly casually sweaty cheek look, which I love. What really makes these two work well together, besides the fact that the colors just work well for my particular complexion, is that these don't disrupt one another. I can layer some more blush back on top and it won't mess up the light stick. When I put the light sticks on, it doesn't disrupt my blush. So I just think these are a perfect match for me. Another combo that I absolutely swear by now that I have figured it out are these two mascaras. I sort of alluded to this combo in my ranking video where I mentioned that this e.l.f. Lash Extender Mascara gave me great length and definition, but it didn't give me enough volume, so I needed to pair it with a more volumizing mascara. So the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift, which has been a love of mine for a while now. These two work perfectly together. What I like to do is curl my lashes. I add the Telescopic Lift Mascara just on my top lashes. I let that layer completely dry, just takes a minute or two. Then I go on top with the e.l.f. Lash Extender, and this really separates and coats and lengthens those lashes, but I still get the benefit of the volume. And I like to wear just the lash extender on my lower lashes and then the combo on my upper lashes, and it gives me this really fluffy, separated, lengthened, darkened, lovely lash that I am going for. And I just have had no problems with this flaking or smudging. I am incredibly happy with this combo. And these are both drugstore products, so that's awesome. I do have one more combo to share with you. These are all new products, but I have found that these Jelly Much shadows from the ColourPop Lost in Love collection pair really, really well with this Nomad New Zealand Stargazing palette. This has been such a hit for me. I reviewed this earlier in the month and I cannot stop using it. I love the variety of looks that I can get from this. I like that I can do something warm toned, cool toned, more neutral feeling, or really, really bright and dramatic. I can do a very light look like what I'm wearing today, or I can do something that is more rich and vampy and deep and smoky. I just think this is such a dynamic palette. And I love pairing these two little pink Jelly Much shadows. The one I'm wearing today is Forever Valentine, but I also really like the All Love Jelly Much paired with some of these shadows from New Zealand Stargazing. This palette does have a fair bit of peachy, pinky, purpley shades, so I like to pair those with these Jelly Much shadows, particularly these two shimmers on the bottom row here. Because these do have more of a topper feeling, they have a translucent base and then they're very shimmery and sheer. So I like layering these on top of those Jelly Much shadows to give them a little bit more of a base, a little bit more oomph, and it just really elevates the shine. But even without the Jelly Much shadows, this New Zealand Stargazing palette would have been in my favorites. I am blown away by how much I love this, especially because there are a lot of colors in here that I'm not typically very drawn towards. I'm looking at you, black and blue section over here. But I always have enjoyed blues paired with purples, and this palette just brings everything together so nicely for me and makes it very easy for me to curate looks that I like and I think are flattering on me. I can't wait to see what these indies bring out for us this year because I know it's going to be a really, really good year for indie brand palettes. And Nomad really just kicked it off for us. I have a couple of videos with this palette, so I'm going to link any relevant videos from the things I talked about today in the description box. If you want more in-depth info, I probably already have that for you, so just make sure you check the description box because I have a review video and then I also have a separate video that has two more looks. I wore the crap out of this palette in January, so Definitely deserves a spot in the favorites. The last thing I want to talk about are my favorite lip products. I have 3 here, and these are all revisited or old favorites. These are all things that I have talked about previously. And actually, 2 of them are lip oils, which who knew I was going to end up being such a lip oil girly, but here we are. First is this shade that I'm wearing on my lips today. This is the Ulta House brand, and it's their juice infused tinted lip oil in the shade Buff Babe. I love this. This is a true neutral. It's like half brown, half pink, mid-tone, neutral undertone. This is a glorious neutral lip product. And it smells good, it feels good, it's so nourishing. I know I've talked about it a lot in the past, so sorry to harp on things that I have already said, but you know, when something is a continuous favorite, I think that's really saying something. You can probably tell by the looks of the label on this one, but this Fantasy Cosmetica lip oil in the shade Ancient One is just a constant must have for me. It smells incredible. It smells like candy grapes. It has this really strong purple look when it's swatched, but once it's applied to my lips, my natural lip color will show through the lip oil and it tones down that bright purpliness a little bit. But this is another one that I get addicted to applying it because it feels so good. One last lip product. This is the Merit Signature Lipstick in the shade Tiger. This is the softest rosy brown red. And this is what I wore on one of my date nights. I just think it adds the perfect amount of flush and drama to my lips without being so red. I wore it with a red dress, so I didn't want to be matchy. That just didn't feel like right for me for the occasion. But this with a red dress was so pretty. It just gave me a reddish flush to the lips, but it still has that rosy softness to it. These were my most worn lip colors in January, and oh man, I think that the amount of nourishing lip oil type products really speaks to the fact that we had some actual winter weather. I don't live in a cold place, so once that winter weather kicked in, I was lip oil or bust. I also encourage you to go check out my ranking all the new products I tried in January video. I think these two combined are really going to give some good insight into everything I tried throughout the month. I would love to hear what you enjoyed in January. Doesn't have to be makeup, doesn't have to be beauty related at all. Did you find some really great comfy jammies, some cozy slippers, a really delicious new type of snack, candy, chips, shows, movies? Tell us everything. I always love to hear what you're enjoying and what you think about things too. So make sure you leave all your thoughts and all your favorites down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Fa- What? Why can't I say that? What am I even doing? My nails are just a nude base, but then I put that Pacifica polish, the tangerine pop polish over it just to give it a little bit of fun because I couldn't deal with just plain nude nails. It was too boring for me. But these are cute. Anyway, this isn't a nail polish video. Reel it in, Amanda. Oh man. February, there's gonna be some good releases in February. I've seen some stuff that's about to come out that I can't talk about yet. It's gonna be a good month. February is gonna be a good makeup month for us. I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for all of us. I'm excited for me to be able to show the stuff. I'm excited for you to see it. I ordered my ultraviolet palette. That one's already been revealed. It was already for sale. It already sold out. I'm not surprised in the least. Okay, focus. Where was I? Ma'am. Oh boy, I didn't think this through. I don't have a makeup wipe. I'm fine. I'm back. I'm good. My poor makeup table is so covered in eyeshadow and spilled everything. Sparkles and powder, and that's fine. Wait, focus on me. Hello, I'm the star of this video. Back off, palettes. Okay, I'm fine. Wet. Yeah. Bleh, bleh. Oh, snap. Khaki just revealed her new collaboration with Finding Ferdinand. I freaking love the blushes that she did with the Summer Abroad collection. So I know these are about to be awesome. I'm ready. I'm ready. Getting distracted by my phone. Okay, that's it. I hope that was fun. I liked including a little of my favorites in action in this video. I don't know if that's something that will continue or what. It's just, it was fun to do. So let me know if you enjoyed that part, kind of seeing the combos working together. I thought that that would be better than me just telling you that they work well together. But you know, I'm always down to hear what works for you. The good thing about being a YouTuber or doing any sort of content creation is really you can make whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. And I enjoy that aspect a lot. But I also want to make things that are actually useful. That's part of what I want out of making my content, is making things that are actually useful. So, you know, let me know if that was fun for you. It's sort of a good way for me to cheat and put a get ready with me, which I like to do, but are always just the most dismal performers on my channel, which is fine, you know. That's part of the balance, is I like making them, so I still make them. But anyway, I hope that you have a great day. And if you're not having a great day, that's okay. That happens. You know, it happens to the best of us. I just had like a 3-day long migraine, so that wasn't really a great day for me, but it's gonna get better for you, and you're just doing your best. Hang in there. I love your face. I'll see you soon. Bye.